I've been living in my van 4 nights a week while working a full-time job. Not because I have to, but because fuel prices right now are getting ridiculous. And this week alone, it's saved me nearly £50. But it's not just about the money, it's completely changed my routine. And honestly, not every night's gone to plan. If I'd have stayed at home this week, I'd have driven about 260 miles, which at today's fuel prices would come to about £75. And that's just the fuel. That doesn't include the sitting in the traffic, the stress, waking up at 5 AM, and then already having to start the day tired. So instead, this week, I stayed in the van closer to work, and across the whole week, I only drove about 98 miles, and that includes going out and exploring new park-ups. I don't always like to stay in the same place day after day after day. That bit does get boring. Those 98 miles, they cost me about £28. So that's £50 nearly saved in just 1 week. Just think about that over the month. That's over £200 a month saved. And that's even before thinking about all that time that I'm gaining back every day. So this is what my week actually looks like. So some nights I stayed at completely free park-ups in laybys into Ashton Park this week, that where the big storm happened. If you go and look at my YouTube shorts, that got a bit crazy. That one only got a bit crazy because you can't dry anything in the van. So if you go and get caught out in torrential rain and you get back in the van, there's nowhere to dry anything, and you're still out for another 2 or 3 days. Then you've got to kind of live with these wet clothes. This week, and every week from now on, I'm going to be treating myself to a campsite to reset, cooking proper meals in the van, and I wake up to views like this. I get to make my coffee in the morning with a view and just take things at a slower pace. Even something as simple as sitting outside with a beer on a nice spring evening. But the biggest thing isn't even the money, it's the time. So instead of getting up at 5 AM, I'm waking up at 6:30 with no long commute to worry about. None of that stress from sitting in traffic. No rushing to get in and out the door and forgetting things and having to drive back if you forgot something. And all that extra time in the morning makes a huge difference to how the whole day feels. It's not perfect by any means, and finding good free places to stay isn't always easy, especially when you're trying to change it up all the time. And sometimes places just don't feel right. For example, this week I pulled up to this one spot near Fulwood, and something about the place just instantly felt off. And I went for a walk in the woods, got completely put off the place, so I didn't stay. And that's just part of it. You have to trust your gut instincts and just be ready to move on when something doesn't feel right. Don't stay, don't put yourself at risk. But overall, for me, it all works. It saves me money, it gives me way more time, and it makes the working week a lot easier to manage. It's not luxury, although my campervan is quite luxurious. It's not always comfortable when you're in like bad weather and stuff like that, and you're kind of trapped inside the van. You don't want to get things wet, you have to sit for hours, you can't really move around that much in a van and get that blood moving. I am curious though, could you live in a van like this during the week? Let me know down in the comments. Or are you sticking with that daily commute?